Stack your cash. So we talked about yesterday, stack your cash. Look for deals because there are deals even now.
And I want to say this is so great. This is marvelous. I wish something like this could have been implemented 23 years ago. You're teaching us so much stuff that will help us in our personal life as well, and not just real estate, especially what you going over now. I learned this on a humbug by mistake as far as trying to invest. I know it's almost time and I know you punctual, but I just wanted you to know I appreciate all this at this late stage in my life. And that's my speech for today.
It's never over. Never over. Cool. Well, thank you. That's really good. Really good. Because you know what? There's so much knowledge and whatever in groups, right? The wisdom of the crowd or whatever they call it. It's really cool. Really cool. Then we get these young kids on, like Zaid shows up every day before school. What he's got ahead of him is just incredible. I look at even my daughter who's just turned 21. She's got a house, she's got a business, and she's got a good life. I mean, it's all working out here, knock on glass on wood,
but even in that, you can see if you train up a child in the way that they should go. See, a lot of this stuff still applies to the word. And y'all training y'all children up in the way that they should go. They didn't understand the process in our youth when we were young, at least me. And it's a wonderful thing teaching us how to get wealth. Nobody taught us this. No one.
well, we're teaching it, right? And we're going to teach it right now. So let's go ahead and start. It's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you, Faye. Those are great words. Because I'll tell you what, I'm like every other human. I like to hear nice things once in a while. I get plenty of the other side. So here we go, right? Yesterday's yesterday. Let that go, build on it, whatever. And tomorrow will come in due time. Today, we're going to worry about a couple of things. But I want to keep going on what we've been talking about. On Monday, your lifespan and how to attach some real estate holdings to offset future. And then yesterday, we talked a lot about how you buy on the up of your money and it goes in cycles. We're in a down cycle now, but I think in the next 12 to 18 months, you're gonna start to see an up cycle. So get ready for that. That'll be cool. But the other thing I want to talk about, because I had somebody come up to me yesterday and said, okay, how do I get money? How do I get money? And this is a talk. So if you have something, and I said, well, wait a minute. How do you get money? You have a house, right? She says, yeah. Well, can't you lever against that house and get another? Or how about this? How much can you get in rent if you were to rent that house out? Is it more than your mortgage? Yes. Is it more than your mortgage plus the financing fee to do a HELOC, a home equity line of credit? Probably. And we did some research and it looks like it is. So, okay. So what it looks like to me is you can take your money out of this asset that you bought and keep it as a rental and have somebody else pay for it. It's almost its own self-sustained thing over there. And now you have money for your family home, your first family home. It looks like you can do that. And she's like, well, I talked to one lender and right? And I said, well, wait a minute. What you have is a knowledge problem or a lack of knowledge, right? Because once you get knowledge, have you ever had this position where you didn't really know what was going on, you didn't know what was next, so you backed down, you didn't do it, and then you actually did something, you're like, oh, well, heck, if I knew it was gonna be that easy, I would have done it long ago. It's a lack of knowledge. So what she had, and what I told her is, you just got to go find a lender. And what happens, you guys, with these lenders, and we get them in all the time, Jeff and I were just talking about this, they come in, here's my rate sheet, right? And I got some donuts out here if you want those, and some ham sandwiches, and here's the football pool. Call me with questions, right? Yeah, that's cool. you know, very vanilla. But what you need to do as individuals, you need to go find your knowledge. All right. In this case, it's on lending. Go out and tell somebody, okay, I'm a 20 something, a lender. I'm a 20 something. I've been married a few years. I got young kids. I have a house. It's in my name, not in my husband's. We want to keep it as a rental, and we want to pull some money out to buy our first family home. What do you got for me? How can you help me? And interview that lender. And if they tell you something, make notes, right? And then when you're done, go interview another lender. And if they tell you the same thing, cool, you're onto something. But if they tell you something different, interview a third one until you get some sort of agreement that here is a strategy that will work for you under your terms and conditions. All right? That is how you get your knowledge. That's how you learn. And then with that, you're going to get a few things. You're going to have a knowledge of the products out there. You're going to have a knowledge of who can do that situation that you were trying to do. And that is incredibly powerful to have at that point for you and for clients that fall into that same bucket. And believe me, there's going to be plenty of them, no matter. And maybe you're midlife. Yeah, I'm into one house. My credit rating's a little iffy, my employment, whatever. But I want to buy an investment. I got a primary. I want to buy an investment, but I'm worried about down payment. You're going to have to interview a bunch of lenders to find out the proper way to do it so you can gain the knowledge on that lending, right? Does that make sense? And that's the way we learn. Adamson moved here. He didn't even have a place, and he bought a place. He was living in, where were you? Like under the bridge or something? What was that story?
Yeah, living
It's under the Brooks Bridge with all the other trolls.
No, we we did buy a 3-bedroom townhouse on the Gulf before we bought our primary residence, and I didn't have a job at the time, so we did it all. It can be done. There's people that'll lend you money. The numbers worked for the cash flow of the property like crazy at the time. They were like, John, you talk about this all the time. That was in 2001. I think we bought that for 200. That's how they were going for 200 grand then. That was the 3-bedroom townhouse value in 2001 was 200,000.
I believe that. So you bought that and the numbers work. Again, I don't understand. How did you know to even check the numbers? Because you were going to make it a business, right?
Right. We
Yeah.
did, actually. Tammy rented it. I did real estate. She did all the rental work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, the knowledge side of it, what I would tell you right now from a knowledge standpoint, from a real estate standpoint, no matter where you operate or what you're doing, is if you can know the inventory, all right, and that's previewing property, and I harp on this, but if you can preview property, you're going to gain the knowledge what it's like inside these properties, these specific homes. You're going, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Does it back up to power lines with the bzzz going all the time, right? I was talking to my wife, Chris. She was telling us about, somebody told her, yeah, we got to this rental property that we rented, and it's a spiral staircase that we could barely get our luggage up. And it never showed any pictures of that when we looked at it, and nobody said, watch out for the spiral staircase. You won't be able to get your luggage up. There's no elevator. Things like that. That comes from previewing. That gives you the knowledge of what's going on, and you'll be able to compare and contrast things. You got to have that knowledge, and knowledge comes from knowing the market trends. Just get on the MLS, or if you're farming a community on a regular basis, every 3 months, every 90 days, you go back and you study what is sold, what's for sale, is inventory up, down, prices up, down, days on market up, down. You know that. That's knowledge. You got to know how to write contracts. Adamson, what is this is your tagline, isn't it? The whole contract thing?
My tagline. Well, you have to be people. We have contracts classes and 3 people show up. To be a professional, you have to, one of the biggest things you get paid to do is take care of your clients. And to take care of your clients, you need to do it through your contract writing.
And you got to be able to do when do you have to write this contract? Be able to, at least.
What's that?
When do you have to be able to write this contract? Come on, this is you all the way, guy. 7 o'clock on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah,
night?
okay, we used to do this. We were writing contracts on the hood of our cars at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. There's no help, right? There's nobody to help you. You've got to be able to handle it yourself. That's what I used to tell everybody. Please
Yeah.
do that. Be that good.
Yep. You got to be good enough that you can write a contract at 7:30 on a Saturday night on the hood of your car, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's so true. Because if you can do that, deals get done, right? But I don't
Yeah.
think as many people can do it, but you can, because that's knowledge. It's knowledge of the contract. That's knowledge. Well, we'll get into the other parts of that. Okay, so that's knowledge, you guys. All right. Just do these alone, because then knowledge gives you experience, right? Or experience comes when you take that knowledge and put it to use. All right. Knowing the contract's one thing. Experience comes to when you're at the showing, the guy says, let's write a contract. And you whip out your little contract on the hood of the car. And they say, I don't have a pen. And you say, I got two. What color do you want? Right? That's experience. Lets you do all that. Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Knowledge is knowing to go preview. Experience is when you go there and you hear the buzz. Right? And you see the spiral staircase, or you see the guy next door is training Rottweilers, or whatever, right? That's experience. The next thing that comes after your experience, you guys, is wisdom. All right, and wisdom's what you get when you got the knowledge and you put it to use. Now you can tell people about it. The wisdom comes in. Yeah, you know what? You're going to love that house. How are you with spiral staircases? What do you mean? Well, there's a spiral staircase right in the middle of this. Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, I didn't think you could. That's the wisdom. You're not going to go show that property. They're going to love you because they're not going to want to look at it, right? From a rental standpoint, think about that. Knowledge is understanding the HOAs. Experience is if you own in that building or know people that have owned in that building. And wisdom's the ability to say, you know what? Be careful about the HOAs in there, right? A lot of people don't realize this, but this, and this. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, well, that's why you hire people like me. We know that, right? So what you got to be able to do, you guys, I promise. If you will just take some time out of your life, I know you're all really busy, but if you take some time to gain some knowledge, and what I give you here is 3 points, 3 working points, what I'd like you to do here today. Action items. Come up with one thing you want to be more knowledgeable about. I know one gal who should get more knowledgeable about lending, right? Oh, I know millions of people that should get more knowledgeable about lending. Okay.
Yeah.
And not in general. I'm talking about lending in your specific circumstance. I want to flip a property. I want to buy it, fix it, and flip it. How do I get some money? Because that's a different lender than the one that's giving a loan to a first-time family or something, right?
That's right.
Figure out what you want knowledge about, right? I want to dominate a neighborhood. We talked about this last week or whenever it was. Okay, I got to get knowledge about that neighborhood. All right. That means I'm going to study the market trends in that neighborhood going back 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, as far back as the MLS will go. You're not looking for comps. You're looking for trends. All right. That's knowledge. Last time the market took off, I can tell you the price went from here to here. That's knowledge. You can get that from ChatGPT. My experience back then was people did this, this, and this, right? If you've been in it. Or I talked to one of the agents in my office and their experience during that time was this, this, and this. And that gives you the wisdom. So what I would tell you based on that knowledge and their experience that you should do this. Now you're a hero, and you can dominate things. All right. So 1, figure out what you want some knowledge in. Write it down on a sheet of paper. I want more knowledge about flipping. I want more knowledge about how to buy my first house. I brought in a lender last week. I've got a 15-year-old that wants to buy real estate. How are we going to get this done? And I got, oh, you got to wait till you're 18. Oh, and then eventually I got somebody, oh, here's what you got to do. Good. Come on in. Let's talk. You feel me here? That's not to say the others were wrong. It just wasn't what they did. Okay. If you ask me about military housing, probably not going to get very good. There's a lot better people than that. You want somebody who knows condos and investment properties? Okay, I got you all day long, right? Build your knowledge. Build your knowledge. That's number one. Number two, what I would tell you to do is go get experience on that. All right. If you want to dominate and market, go preview the houses. That's your experience. You can go through them. All right. Do that. If you want to, I don't know, what anybody got a thing they want to do here? They want to shout out. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Anyone? 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll keep going. All right. So then go do the effort, apply your knowledge, and then that's going to give you the wisdom. It's going to give you the wisdom to say, you know what? This thing has a really cool fireplace, which is really interesting because we're in Florida. Not a lot of places have fireplaces. This one has a really cool fireplace that you're probably going to like, right? Any number of things. Go get your knowledge. And then what I would tell you to do is do that every day for the rest of the week. Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days in a row. Think of how much more information and knowledge and experience and wisdom you're going to have by Friday. Unbelievable. It is unbelievable what you guys can do. And how long does that take? No time at all. Is it important? Jeff Adamson couldn't buy that house because his wife told me some lender came off a boat to write the contract because the couldn't do it or something, right?
What's going to happen, and this will happen to a lot of you, either personally or professionally, is your lender will show up the week before the closing and tell you that they can't do it suddenly. You need to have a backup. We learned then that
this is wisdom talking right now, right?
That we had to have a backup person there just in case something happened, and something did occur and we found another person. So it isn't like we talked about. You don't ask one person. The mortgage industry is the same as the real estate. The professionals make it through bad times, and all the part-time agents or the people that aren't in it as deeply as they should be, they won't make it through a dip. And the lenders will be the same way. So find the pros and they'll help you get what you need.
Guys, think about it. Think about your transaction that fell apart recently or didn't come together, and do an autopsy. Why didn't it come together? Or why did it fall apart? Well, the home inspection was a mess. Go get some knowledge on home inspections, right? Who are the go-to on the home inspectors? What was the issue? Learn about this stuff. Now, you don't have to be an expert on everything, but you need to know who to go to. Maybe the inspector was bad. Maybe the appraiser was a dope. Maybe the whatever, right? Get some knowledge, because knowledge about who your team is. Hey, who's your go-to handy person? Have one. And the way you know is you ask questions, you look around and whatever, you hire them a few times to gain some experience, and that'll give you wisdom of who to send people to. You got to do it though. I would look at my deals that fell apart and find out why they fell apart, and I would get some wisdom. Tim Shepard was in here a few weeks ago, and he told a story of how he lost a listing to yours truly once. And he went and studied on how he lost a listing. And it wasn't because I was better. He said it was because he wasn't good enough. All right. And that's the right mentality. So I would urge you today, find out something you want more knowledge about, gain that knowledge, and then put it to use to get that experience. Right. And then that'll give you the wisdom. Right. And that'll make you millions. And then think about it. I want you to do it for the rest of the week. What if you did it for the rest of the year, the last 4 months, 3.5 months? You're done. You're good. You probably have enough to take you. But then you'd have to do it probably once a quarter just to keep your skills up. Right? So yeah, that's what we got. Oh, we got to chat. Hold on. My sidekick's not here. This is
Agreed.
all right. What do we got? Proverbs. Okay, right. Buy or develop an RV park. Boom. How about that? RV parks are very popular right now. I love those. Tiny houses are good. There's plenty of good. And if you look around, there's a lot of people making a lot of money on a lot of different things. So figure out what your thing is or what your weekend, get some knowledge and do all that stuff. The world's wide open. Okay, so let me just review. Go find the one thing you want to learn about. Go put it to work, and then you'll get the knowledge that goes, or the wisdom that goes with it. All right, Jeff, you got any more to add? Or
And that's, that's perfect. That'll help you, but in all phases. I try to figure out why do successful people succeed? And the answer is they fail all the way through, right? A lot of them go broke. What's the difference? I think the difference is that I'm not going to say unsuccessful. I'll say average people don't take their fear keeps them from stepping into whatever it is that they could be or could become. So don't let your fear scare you. You're in a wonderful business. You could make as much money as you can dream of, and you're getting paid to learn about real estate, which that's where the money is. The money is in buying the real estate yourself. Everything I ever bought, I showed it to a client first and they didn't buy it, and then I did. And that's how it works. If you're looking.
so what happens, guys, is we get scared. We don't know. I don't know. And then we back off rather than going to find out. We back off.
Right. Or we
Don't
talk
back
to one
off.
person. That's right. Gary Keller should have quit. He should have quit at doing Keller Williams like 3 times. He went broke. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
I
what do
think-
they say? Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I think a big piece is people will project into the future and figure it out in their mind, see a negative outcome and quit, instead of saying, all right, how can I take small steps and make calculated risks so that I can fail on the small things, learning, and then make the big decision that pays for all the education in the previous steps. Don't go all in on the big things until you failed your way into knowledge.
Yeah, you can do
Yep.
it. You can do it. I did it. Took me a long time. I didn't get into real estate because self-limiting beliefs or whatever. I didn't buy my first rental because I didn't think I could. Then I ended up with one that was such a good deal. I was an idiot not to, and I fell into it. But now I got it figured out, and we're going fast forward.
There you go.
But go fast forward from a younger age is all I'm saying. Or go fast forward now. Don't wait. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. You cannot buy wisdom. You can't rent it. You can't borrow it. You got to earn it. All right.
Yeah.
It'll make you millions. Okay, let's go to work. Let's put it into action. Let's go,
Hey,
people.
we have a question on.
Oh, we got a question.
No,
script.
it wasn't a question. It's to back up what you're saying with the word. And that's why I said Proverbs 18:15. It states that an intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the
Yes.
ear of the wise seeks knowledge. So that's backing up everything you teaching today.
Right on, right on. Script
John's-
9.
John Scripps class is 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
That's the question. The other question.
Yep.
Okay.
Get
Thanks,
here if you
Faye.
want to learn about scripts. All right, let's go to work. Bye-bye.